the International is coming. The world's best Dota 2 teams fighting for their chance to be forever remembered as the greatest players of all time. Each team and player bringing with them a unique story to share. This is the International Lowdown, and this is the story of VGJ.Storm. When enemies become best friends. The North American region of Dota 2 is a harsh place. Teams rise and fall within weeks, and players easily develop grudges. After all, in the world of Dota 2, it only takes one game, 18 to 50 minutes, to become a god or just a legend forgotten in time. And it's hard not to hold grudges against those that stole their moment of glory. Each and every one of the members of VGJ.Storm have taken a huge opportunity from one of each other. The pain of being so close to greatness but barely falling short has hit every single one of them in the past. But now, at the International 8, the members of VGJ.Storm come together not as bitter rivals, but as brothers in arms. Together as a team, VGJ.Storm unite to storm the gates of the International 8. Owned by the Chinese organization Vici Gaming and endorsed by NBA superstar Jeremy Lin, the team had a relatively uneventful first half of the Dota Pro Circuit, leading to the slate being wiped clean and a new roster being brought in. A roster that may have been late to the party, but crashed it so hard they won the first LAN that they attended, the GESC Minor, just 2 months after forming. For some, the GESC Minor was not a star-studded enough event to prove that VGJ.Storm were the real deal. But a trip to China a week later for the MDL Changsha Major silenced those critics, as Storm were even more electric, beating out huge names like Secret, OG, and even their brothers-in-arms, Vici Gaming, to reach the grand finals. Storm would be trumped by LGD in the final match, but that did not take away from the remarkable and explosive impact that they had late into the DPC. The loss, however, meant no direct invite to TI8, but the team, they didn't give up, and they prepared themselves for the International Regional Qualifiers. It was a hard-fought qualifier, but Storm, they were relentless, and they were not going to be denied their spot at TI. While the world was shocked to see the newly formed team do so well so fast, it must have seemed pretty normal to team captain SVG. Completely unknown only 2 years ago, SVG was discovered by 1437, who suggested that he be invited in a TI5's iteration of Cloud9. After a rather uneventful run as a player, something unheard of happened. He was asked to be the coach of evil geniuses right before their TI6 run. But why? The answer is pretty simple. SVG was a genius when it came to how he saw the game despite his relatively new status as a player, and his talent was picked up on by none other than Boba, who suggested that EG place their faith in him as their coach. With SVG as coach, EG netted 3rd place at TI6, but it wasn't long before SVG was itching to get his new knowledge on in the playing field. SVG returned to action and enjoyed success with the old C9 friends who were now Team NP in early 2017. And by early 2018, he was picked up by VGJ.Storm, and he would take them exactly where they needed to be. So far, he has delivered more than they could have ever hoped for. The man who stopped SVG's TI6 run dead in his tracks is now one of his greatest allies, the incredible Resolution. Rezo began his career on Team Empire and was hailed as one of the best players the CIS region had seen in a long time, with many teams squabbling over who would be the ones to finally get him. But Resolution, he had other plans. In a move that would surprise everyone, the CIS prodigy moved to Digital Chaos, where he was brought in to replace one of their best players, Yawar, much to Yawar's disappointment. Rezo took the team all the way to the TI6 Grand Finals, proving to everybody that he had made quite the wise choice. Later, after being unable to qualify for the International 7, Resolution headed to the event anyway as a Russian panelist. But when one player from his old squad, Team Empire, was unable to compete, Resolution himself stepped in. without any practice with the team, Resolution carried them all the way to 8th place, taking out evil geniuses in the process and showing the world that he was still at the top of his game, with literally no practice. After TI7, Resolution was hot on the market and moved back to Europe to play for OG for half of a season, before returning to the States once more to bring glory to VGJ.Storm. A man whose career Resolution nearly ruined is now his dedicated teammate, Yawar. Yawar's big break was on Digital Chaos, joining the pro scene after moving to America only a few months before the International 5. Yawar was known to be skilled, but struggled to work well with his teams, lacking self-confidence and, by all accounts, playing nearly silently in all of his games. A quite unusual trait, competing in a region that is infamous for being abrasive and excelling in, well, let's be honest, soul-crushing trash talk. Yawar quietly grew in experience over time to shine, and he would soon shine at the Frankfurt Major qualifiers. Yawar and DC came so close, but Yawar lost his chance to qualify by just one game. He was beaten by Cloud9, and two now very familiar faces, his current teammates MSS and SVG. The loss would cause DC to reform, and Yawar would be shown the door, replaced by Resolution. But Yawar was not one to give up. Even after being one game short of greatness once again at last year's TI7 regional finals with Team Freedom, Yawar took these hits, but he just kept moving forward. And ever since joining VGJ.Storm in February, he is a man brimming with confidence. Now, many of you may know about Yawar, and you're waiting for that time where I say the big fact, that he's Sumail's brother. One brother going to win TI, and the other now just getting there himself. Well, while being Sumail's brother might have been his only claim to fame before, these days, Yawar has become his own man, with his own achievements and his own skills to take on anyone in the world. Yawar has earned his place at the TI table, and the path is open for him to win an international of his own. We've spent most of our time talking about the fresh new talent on Team VGJ.Storm, but it's about time we talked about the old guard, Mojo Stormstep. Better known as MSS, his popularity and success in various North American in-house leagues in his early days led to him being a high-impact sub, with teams such as Team Liquid, Evil Geniuses, and Dignitas all calling on him in their hours of need. Eventually, the famous substitute player would soon become a pro player in his own right, and joined a slew of illustrious North American organizations, but not without a little bit of sacrifice of his own. His parents had concerns about his career path, but MSS, he decided to run away from home and take up the opportunity of a lifetime to play for Evil Geniuses. Eventually, when success finally came his way, MSS would return home, showing his parents that his path could actually pay off. With every new team, MSS improves, until eventually he would join his friend and former teammate SVG in VGJ.Storm. While MSS has made it to the International before, he has yet to claim the big win. But now that his schooling is over and his supporting family and friends are all rooting for him, MSS has his mojo back and is ready to take that trophy home for the first time. While MSS may be an old guard of North American Dota, there is no one older than Snaking. Beginning his career before Dota 2 even existed, he made his big break on Bottom with teammates like Owie2000 and Fogged. Snaking's team was seriously impressive at the time, able to match up against huge names of the era, such as the untouchable Na'Vi. The team later became Team Dignitas and was invited to TI2 and TI3, with Snaking leading the team, destroying enemies with seldom used heroes like Timbersaw way before their time. Snaking also attended TI4 as part of Na'Vi US, but after the tournament, he chose to focus on his education for close to 2 years, despite being at the peak of his career. Once a king of North American Dota, Snaking is back, educated better than ever, and ready to return to his former glory. And there you have it. The story of VGJ is a story that only NA Dota can tell you. players switching from team to team, destroying each other's dreams, but putting that all behind them to come together and claim the prize that they have been denying each other for many, many years. North America, it's a high-pressure scene. Many crumble under that stress. Many crumble under that pressure and let it break them. But for VGJ, the defeats, the pressure, the pain, that's only made them stronger, forming them into the diamonds in the rough that they are to this very day. Diamonds, which hope to shine this year at the International 8.